everyone.
Good morning.
We are again present here today for the pre-bid conference for civil works under invitation to bid number 2024-011. We have two contracts. We are live via YouTube in compliance with Department Order number 06 series of 2024, which directs us to stream activities like this for accountability and transparency of procurement processes. Before we proceed, we request the Secretariat to please acknowledge those who are present here today.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Our attendees for today's activity, pre-bid conference for civil works for 2nd District Engineering Office. We have here the back members, starting with our chairperson, Engineer Edwin Edmond.
Present.
Vice chairperson, Engineer Lorna Beludin.
Present.
Regular member, Engineer Leslie Tito.
Present.
Provisional members, we have Engineer Jeffrey C. Salmon
Present.
and Engineer Arthur Noel A. Lord.
Present.
From the back secretariat, headed by Engineer Edwin P. Pascual Jr.
Present.
Back secretariat member, Ms. Girlie Garde.
Present.
From the back technical working group, we have here the members, Engineer J. Hercel G. Palen,
Present.
Engineer Maylando M. Apolinaria,
Present.
and we also have here representative from Planning and Design section. We have Engineer Ronel Zaimor V. Banal,
Present.
and we would also like to acknowledge our viewers by YouTube. Good morning and welcome. That is the
Okay, thank you. Since with the majority of back members present, I hereby declare a quorum and call this meeting in order. We have a basic agenda. 1. A presentation. 1A. Basic contract data. 1B. Requirements of bidding documents. 1C. Documents to be submitted by the bidders. C1. Technical component of the bid. And C2. Financial component of the bid. And 1D, criteria and procedure for eligibility check. And 2, questions, comments from bidders and replies of BAC and other representatives of procuring entity. 3, other matters, 3, strike policy against violation of section 69.1.I of the IRR of RA 9184. 4, summary of proceedings including supplemental bid bulletin to be issued. Okay. Any motion to adopt this agenda?
I move to adopt the present agenda.
Okay, it has been moved by Engineer Salmon and seconded by Engineer Robin, and with no objection, the motion to adopt this agenda is hereby approved. First in the order of business is the explanation of the basic contract data, including description, EDC, and duration, and this will be presented to us by Engineer Simon Simon Banal. Ronel Simon Banal, sorry. Ronel Simon. Babo na. Proceed.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Here are the following projects that is open for submission of bids. For the first project, construction of revetment along Agusan River, Lower Mapawa Bridge section, Mapawa, Maragusan, Davao de Oro. Contract ID number 24LI0062. Location, Davao de Oro. Scope of works, construction of reinforced concrete revetment with concrete barriers and steel sheet piles for foundation. Construction of gabions for end protection works. Approved budget for the contract, 96,499,693.55. Source of fund, FY 2024 GAA 002. Contract duration, 332 calendar days, including 89 unworkable days. Size range, medium A. License category B. Cost of bid documents, 50,000 pesos. For the second project, construction of revetment along Manat River, upstream and downstream, left side, leading to Agusan River Phase 1, Bankeruhan Norte, Montevista, Davao de Oro. Contract ID number 24LI0063. Location, Davao de Oro. Scope of works, construction of concrete revetment with steel sheet piles for foundation. Construction of grouted riprap for back slope protection and end protection works. Installation of minor drainages. Approved budget for the contract, 115,799,099.17. Source of fund, FY 2024 GAA 002. Contract duration, 343 calendar days including 94 unworkable days. Size range, medium A. License category B. Cost of bid documents, 50,000 pesos.
Thank you, Engineer Banal, for explanation of the projects to be prepared by interested bidders. Next in the order of business is the requirements of the bidding documents, and this will be discussed to us by Engineer Edwin Pascual.
Okay, good morning everyone.
Good morning.
To participate in qualifying our procurement activity, interested bidders are encouraged to read the following documents. First, the instruction to bidders. Second, the bid data sheet. Third, the general conditions of the contract. Fourth, the special conditions of the contract. Fifth, the bill of quantities. Sixth, the drawings and specification. And lastly, number 7, securities and other forms as may be required for the contract. Bidders are strongly advised to read each provision, especially the instruction to bidders and general conditions of the contract. Most special instructions are clearly spelled out in the bid data sheet and the special conditions of the contract respectively. Bidders are also encouraged to check the bill of quantities so that your bid will be responsive to the requirements set forth in the bidding documents. These documents can be downloaded free of charge from the PhilGEPs in DPWH websites. Interested bidders shall pay the applicable amount for the bidding documents not later than the submission of your bids. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Engineer Pascual, for discussing these documents. Next in order of business is the documents to be submitted by the bidders, and this will be discussed to us by Angeli Legardi.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
For the following documents should be included by the interested bidders in their bids. Number 1, the technical component of the bid includes the fusion certificate. If not enrolled in the CWA, PCAB license and registration, statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, SLCC, NFCC computation, and statement of total assets and liabilities. Joint venture agreement, if applicable. If you're already enrolled in the CWR, the eligibility documents to be updated, if any. Bid security, project requirements, the organizational chart for the contract, list of contractors' key personnel, list of major equipment owned or leased, and omnibus foreign statement in the prescribed format by the, in accordance to GPPB Resolution number 16/2020. For the financial component of the bid, includes the bid form, bid prices in the bill of quantities, detailed estimates including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of the construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in the coming up of the bid, and the cash flow by quarter. Please be reminded that the following documents, the omnibus foreign statement, bid form, bid securing declaration, if you have to use this type of bid security, should be in the standard format as per guidelines of the GPPB Resolution 16/2020. And kindly check the format of the documents you are using to avoid declared non-responsive pursuant for using the unprescribed format. This document should be submitted using the 2-envelope system. Bidders are urged to only fasten the document at the topmost portion. We are reminding the contractors, the bidders, to please follow the format to fasten at the topmost portion to ease the preparation of filing and preparation for the bidding documents. And each document should be ear tagged appropriately. Please use the name they labeled it according to the names of the documents submitted, not in accordance with the checklist. Some of the bidders are using their ear tag, using the numbers or the numerical sign based on the checklist. So we are reminding the bidders to please follow, label it according to the documents submitted, not according to the checklist. And there shall be three copies of this document: the original, the copy 1, and the copy 2. Original copies of the technical component of the bid shall be sealed on one envelope, and original copies of the financial component of the bid shall be sealed on another envelope. This envelope should be labeled as original copy of the technical component and original copy of the financial component. This labeled envelope shall be then sealed into one final envelope. Label it as original copy of the bid, and same process for the copies 1 and 2. Lastly, the copy 1, original copy, and copy 2 of the bid shall be sealed into one final envelope and label it appropriately as instructed in the bidding documents. Bidders are encouraged to read the section 21 of Instruction to Bidders, page 40, to fully understand the sealing and markings. And submit your bids personally here at Davao de Oro 2nd District Engineering Office. We are temporarily located here at Davao de Oro 1st District Engineering Office, Bankeruhan, Davao de Oro, on or before April 2, 2024, 10 a.m. Late bids will not be accepted. And you also have the option to submit your bids electronically. The preparation of the technical and financial document of your bids are outlined in the Department Order number 87, series of 2020. The sealings and markings of the bids is also outlined on the said DEO and is reiterated on the bid sheets. Interested bidders are advised to read this in case your choice is electronic submission. Submit electronic bids to electronicbids_Davao de Oro 2 at DPWH.gov.ph on or before April 2, 2024, 10 a.m. And please be reminded that your key personnel should only occupy one position in your organizational chart. The duplications of functions of your personnel will be a ground for disqualification pursuant to the principle of item number 6 under Department Order number 9, series of 2012. And we are also requesting you to please indicate your tax identification numbers, since this will be used for the awarding of contract. And further, in your bid form and bill of quantities, we are requesting you to please write legibly. And also, importantly, if you are offering a discount in your bid form, please indicate specifically the methodology as to where or which pay item the discount will take effect. The absence of methodology, original amount will prevail. The discrepancies between the bid prices in words and in figure, the words will prevail. Bids not addressing, providing, or filling out all the required items in the bidding documents. For example, the bill of quantities, the bid is considered non-responsive and is outright disqualified. And always, we are reminding that please check your documents before submitting to our end to avoid disqualification of your peer. That will be all, sir.
Thank you, Ricardi. Also, when you have detailed estimates, like in the records, you must be specified, put the OCM, overhead, contingencies, miscellaneous, contractor's profit, but because it is important also for the construction state na kailangan yung mga variation order is needed. That. Also in a bill of quantities, use Tauma 11, yung talaga properly figure, hirapan lalo na pagbasa at saka pagpanang pag-detail, yung figure, yung tama yung Tauma 11, yun ang okay na yun, ha. In addition, addition, we would like to remind the bidders to submit 3 names through email prior to the bidding date. However, only these 3 names will be able to enter our premises during the bidding activity. And also, I encourage na kung pwede yung mayroong ID, no? Para malaman din kung saan. Mahirap naman yung para maganda kasi yung may ID, ma-determine natin kung yan pala ang company, no? Yan talaga gusto ko yung may ID, no? Okay, thank you. Next in order of business is the 1D, criteria and procedure for eligibility check, and this will be explained to us by Engineer Dave Palen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone. The criteria for eligibility check are set forth in Section 23 of the revised implementing rules and regulation of RA 1994. All prospective bidders should have an updated Class A legal, technical, and financial documents and Class B documents if applicable. These documents were already discussed a while ago by the Bank Secretariat. During the opening of bids, the first envelope which contains the technical component of the bid shall be opened. After opening the first envelope, the BAC shall simultaneously conduct the electronic eligibility check and preliminary examination of the technical components of the bids. Bidders who are ineligible to participate because their eligibility documents are not updated shall undergo manual eligibility check based on the submitted eligibility documents. If found to be eligible and at the same time pass the preliminary examination of their technical proposal, their financial proposal will also be open. However, the committee will conduct second electronic eligibility check after updating the eligibility records of the bidders through the contractor's profile application or through the procurement service of the central office. Result of the latest electronic eligibility processing shall prevail over the manual eligibility evaluation. All open financial components of the bids shall also undergo preliminary examination. If passed, the committee will read the bid amount stated in the bid form. The BAC shall immediately conduct a detailed evaluation of all bids using discretionary criteria in considering the completeness of the bid, and second, the arithmetical corrections. The bids shall then be ranked in ascending order of their total calculated bid prices, as evaluated and corrected for computational errors and other bid modifications to identify the lowest calculated bid. The lowest calculated bid shall undergo post-qualification in order to determine whether the bidder concerned complies with and is responsive to all the requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents pursuant to Section 34 of the Procurement Law. If found to be responsive, the bidder shall be declared lowest or single calculated unresponsive bid and will be recommended for award of the contract. If found to be non-responsive, the committee will conduct post-qualification to the next lowest calculated bid ranked during bid evaluation stage. Also, the bidders with ongoing contracts should be reminded that the committee will verify if you have existing delayed contract for Department Order Number 127, Series of 2018, strict application of RA 9184 in the conduct of post-qualification of bidders with delayed ongoing contracts with the DPWH. If you have incurred negative slippage as defined in the said DEO or currently being imposed with liquidated damages, you should settle these findings before the period of post-qualification ends to avoid post-disqualification of your firm. Also, all requirements set forth in the bidding documents and the instructions relayed during this conference should be addressed and be well taken care of to avoid disqualification or post-disqualification. In addition, for the equipment verification, the BAC with the assistance of the equipment verification team will be strict on the compliance of the equipment as part of the post-qualification as per DO number 127 series of 2018. As part of the post-qualification, the equipment verification team will conduct an inspection on the verification of the equipment pledged by the bidder, including other documents to be evaluated. That would be all, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Palin, for that discussion. And we are now through with Agenda 1, and we'll proceed to Agenda 2, question comments from leaders, and replies of BAG and other representatives of procuring entity. Okay, there is a questions now.
None so far, sir.
Engineer Budito, ready to answer. Okay. If there is no questions, we'll proceed to number 3 agenda, other matters. Please strike policy against violation of Section 69.1.I of IR of RE 9184, and this will be discussed to us by Engineer Budito.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And also to all the viewers. In order to establish a fair and transparent system for managing offenses committed by bidders in the procurement of infrastructure, goods, and consulting services projects through public bidding, the Department of Public Works and Highways hereby introduces an updated three-strike policy. This policy is aimed at enforcing adherence to the procurement guidelines stipulated under Section 69.1.I of the 2016 Revised Implementing Rules and Regulations of Republic Act 9180. Under this policy, if a bidder commits 3 offenses, acts described as all other acts that tend to defeat the purpose of competitive bidding, they shall be subjected to an administrative penalty. These offenses acts are further classified into 3 major categories as enumerated below. As per Department Order 28, Series of 2024, the classification of offenses that triggers the three-strike policy and exception. Number 1, withdrawal from the bidding process, submission of non-participation letter, or failure to submit a bid after purchasing the bid documents. However, the Bids and Awards Committee recognizes certain valid reasons for these actions. If, upon computation prior to bid submission, the bidder determines that their proposed bid price will exceed the approved budget for the contract. To substantiate this, the bidder must provide evidence. Acceptable proof includes, but is not limited to, a detailed budget estimation or a market price report. Number 2, submission of late bids without valid reasons, as determined by the bank. Exemption will be considered under extraordinary circumstances, such as force majeure. This refers to unexpected and unavoidable external events that impede or prevent a bidder from timely bid submission as defined in Article 1174 of the Philippines Civil Code. Number 3, submission of patently insufficient bid. A patently insufficient bid refers to a bid that fails to include or comply with certain mandatory requirements. The determination of whether a bidder committed such an offense may occur as outlined below. Letter A, during eligibility screening and or shortlisting. Submission of an expired certificate of Philippine Government Electronic Procurement System, registration, or a certificate of Belgium's certification containing expired Class A legal and financial documents as determined during the eligibility screening. Then, failure to include certificate of employment, contract agreement among permanent personnel and staff of the firm, and curriculum vitae in the application for eligibility. Letter B, during bid evaluation. Failure to submit required bid forms as outlined in Annex C, detailing the complete list of required bid forms. Then, submission of incomplete and insufficient or defective documents due to the non-inclusion and or omission of mandatory provisions and statement for the required bid forms as per Annex C outlining the mandatory provisions of required forms. Then, submission of an unnotarized bid securing declaration, an omnibus sworn statement, and joint venture agreement or statements from all the potential joint venture partners with the exemption during the declaration of state of calamity or implementation of community quarantine or similar restriction declared or being implemented either in the locality of the procuring entity or of the bidder. Then, submission of the bid form, price schedules with securing declaration, omnibus sworn statement, and joint venture agreement without the name, legal capacity, and signature of the bidder or its authorized representative. Next, nomination of bid personnel of a profession different from what is required by the bidding documents. Next, failure to submit proof of ownership, lease, or purchase agreement of pledged equipment. Next, failure to submit the required certification of paid personnel as per Department Order Number 9, Series of 2012. Next, failure to comply with the required minimum number of paid personnel and equipment as stated in the bidding documents. Letter C, during post-qualifications. Participation in bidding for infrastructure projects by the bidder whose allowable rates of contract cost as indicated on the PCAB license does not match with the specific requirements of the infrastructure project being bid for in terms of category, classification, and size ranges. The enforcement and penalties. If a bidder commits any of the three major offenses, acts listed about 3 times within a year, starting from the approval date of the resolution recommending the imposition of the strike first warning, which is counted as day 1 through day 365, and if these 3 offenses are of similar or identical nature, it will trigger the enforcement of the stipulated administrative penalty. Suspension from participating in all DPWH procurement activities and entering into contract with any DPWH procuring entity. Subsequently, as per the procedure outlined in Annex A, this may result in the blacklisting of the suspended bidder, thereby disqualifying the bidder from participating in any government procurement activities for a period of 1 year. In conjunction with blacklisting, the bidder will also face bid security forfeiture and must comply with the enforcement of the bid securing declarations conditions. In more severe instances, when a bidder commits another three similar offenses or more than 2 sets of 3 similar offenses, instances where more than 6 similar offenses occur within the said 1-year time frame, the bidder may be subjected to an increased penalty resulting in blacklisting for a period of 2 years. The effective duration for the penalty of either 1 or 2 years applicable will be clearly stipulated in the blacklisting order, with the provisions that the duration of blacklisting shall not exceed a maximum period of 2 years, commencing on the date the blacklisting order is approved and issued by the Secretary. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Engineer Gutito. So, prospective bidders, no? Be careful with instruction and comply to avoid the 3 strike. Next, we proceed to the last agenda. Summary of proceedings, including supplemental bulletin to be issued. It is presented to us by Engineer Lorna Rubin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All the needed information were discussed and explained by the resource person. I would like to remind the prospective leaders to visit from time to time the DPWH and PELJEP's website, especially within 7 calendar days prior to the deadline of the submission of the bids. For supplemental or bid bulletin to be issued thereafter, please also be reminded that the submission of the bids on or before April 2, 2024 at 10 a.m. Late bids shall not be accepted. Bid opening will be on April 2, 2024, 10:15 a.m. That's all.
Thank you, Engineer Rubin. Okay. All of the business in the agenda will already be taken into consideration, and there's no questions, no? Okay. There's none. May I know the pleasure of the body?
I move to adjourn this conference.
Okay.
Second motion.
Okay, it has been moved by Engineer Lor and seconded by Benedito, and with no objection, the motion to adjourn this conference is hereby approved, and this conference is now adjourned. Thank you, everyone, and good morning.